Good morning, guys. My name is David Gardner, and I'm just coming on to share with you a little more about me and my healing journey, which is still ongoing. Um, I suppose with like any good story, it's good to start at the beginning. It's not really a story because it's actually my life and what I deal with on a day-to-day basis, and not just with myself, but with my family and many friends and doctors and different types of therapists and programs of support. But I have a very rare form of a type of muscular dystrophy. It's called polyglucogen storage myopathy, and it affects every single muscle cell throughout the entirety of my body. So from the skeletal muscles to the heart, to the lungs, to the leg muscles, all of them basically. Um, I've also had a cardiac heart transplant. I had that when I was 17, but yeah, just about 17, as a result of the muscle deterioration, because the function of the condition I have is that basically when you eat sugar, the cells produce energy, and in my muscle cells, the equation isn't balanced, and it's a double gene default, which produces a waste substance that the cell membrane can't pass. It can't pass through the cell membrane, and what that causes it to do is the cell to dilate and then break. Now, my heart happened to be the first organ that was directly affected, and I was very, very fortunate. And one of the biggest key parts of my journey was that I'm still alive and I'm still here, which is a miracle, complete massive miracle. And I had a heart transplant, which was completely life changing. But there were immense of things that had taken place before that happened. We tried some herbal remedies. We tried spiritual healing. We tried benediction, and benedictions through the church, blessings. That's a blessing. Looked at dietary change. This all took place quite a lot when I was doing a lot of hospitals when I was younger, and supported uh, primarily by my two parents and my sisters, and then my greater family and things. And it was a long journey, a very long, tiring journey for all of those involved, and cost an immense amount of money, as these things do for those who've got those experiences with their own children. You know that it takes resources of just not, your husband and wife, or your brothers and sisters, but all of those that are part of the family emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually. And there's been immense amount of prayer a part of my journey, not just personally, but those of churches and other organisations, which I'm immensely grateful for. Even more so now as I've got older, and I sort of understand it a bit more, and about how the mind works and how positive thinking creates things. And um, so by the time that I was 17, I'd been through lots of different hospitals. I'd nearly died several times, been in intensive cares, um, had pacemakers, all sorts, lots of hospitals, lots of different experiences. Um, and really life sort of went reasonably back to normal after my heart transplant. I was very, very extremely fortunate to have a successful transplant with one of the best hospitals in the world, um, uh, Hope Hospital in Patworth. And it was an amazing experience, and a very healing process, because I'd got to the point where I was on oxygen. I was breathing very well. I wasn't walking. I was completely wheelchair bound, on very limited water intake, all sorts. Trying to put on weight because I'd lost weight, lost my appetite. From the depression of being ill, it was a very lonely, very isolating time. But the heart was just like poof, of like boom, back to life, and my whole body came back on board, which was an amazing experience to go right to the jaws of death, and come back from. And my body took off like a rocket, and it accelerated through getting well, putting on weight, regaining muscle tone, physiotherapy, and all sorts were involved. And really what I find is that as my condition progressed, because it's still, though the heart isn't affected, it still affected the rest of the body. So it still affected my diaphragm and my breathing, affects my teeth, my jaw, my swallowing. I mean, it is literally every muscle, guys. And so that heart transplant didn't affect the progression of the overall condition. So life really changed about 3 years ago for me. I went through a 12-step program, which literally unplugged me in one way and plugged me in completely, absolutely completely differently. And the journey has been one of real discovery of a completely different life, that I could never have imagined was even possible or even out there. And if anybody's going through any type of behavior that they're really struggling with, a 12-step orientated program is the immense solution to all ailments, because it's a reprogramming and a retraining of the mind. And you see what this 12-step program with chronic pain and chronic illness has then gone on to do for me, has started to liberate me of certain concepts and beliefs and ideas. And for me, one of those is that though I suffer with chronic pain and chronic illness, it's not who I am. It is a defining factor of my life, but it doesn't define who I am, who my soul is, and how I express myself. And that though I'm disabled or deemed disabled by society as a whole, I don't feel disabled. I feel normal. I feel human. I'm having my human experience, which, do you know what, is pretty wicked. The amount of stuffs that I've done, I'm experiencing as a result of my mental illness and my my physical condition, and those people that it's brought me in contact with, is exponential. It's still growing. It's, as my health is declining through the losing of the functions of my body, my soul is growing as a counterbalance. And within this new flourishing creation of the soul and the different experiences and the people that I meet as I work with nature and my body to harmonize the deterioration, I find more life. It's an equinox. As I'm dying, I'm finding new life. I'm finding more life. I'm finding my life, their life, and it is not by my doings so much as it is by God, the universe, and the creator's doing, nature's doing, as my condition seeks to find its own balance. As it outweighs the bad, it's bringing more good, it's bringing more abundance. And I suppose that is the mythology of my journey. The vocation of my life is to find balance through this deterioration of the human condition, which we all have. We all get old, we all lose our eyesight, we all lose our hearing. some of us get cancer, some of us get AIDS, some of us get all sorts of different abhorrent conditions, or that are deemed or judged as abhorrent. Things that really challenge our human experience, our human psyche of, is this right? Should I be having this? And I suppose the big acceptance is, yes, I should be, because it's growing me. It's not just growing me, but it's growing all those people that I get in contact with. So what my journey has become is not just one about my own healing, but of that and those that are connected to me, those places that I visit, those people that I meet, those experiences that I share. And I suppose this part of the healing of the self and the healing journey is about sort of sharing some of those experiences and the route that I've took as I've come away from the NHS sort of fixed model of the broken bone, because it's quite a dilemma when you come up against any condition that you might be suffering if you're going through this yourself, and you go, oh, so you can't fix me, you can't treat me, you can't solve my problem. The quandary that puts you into when you're in that belief structure of the doctor can fix me is one I can only describe for me, as for myself, one of turmoil that I faced pre-heart transplant. And I suppose what this journey is about now is not going to there again or back there, because that was unhealthy death. And I suppose what I'm being taught now is the thriving within death. Gosh, can you imagine that? To thrive in death. That's a powerful, man, that's powerful, dude. Cheers, guys, for giving us that one. And that's what I find that I'm doing. And that's what I find that other people help me to do, teach me to do, show me to do. I mean, I haven't learned this on my own. I need all you guys to go, come on, David, don't be down. Or I need to see the other person suffering to go, you know what? My shit's not that bad. Because I'm still human. I still have the mind of a dude that doesn't want to be poorly. I still want to be the toddler at about between 7 to 13, to that teenage stage of running around kicking a ball. But that's just, my inner soul might be doing that, but my outer body experience totally isn't, dude. My outer body experience is he's in bed right now. I'm sharing from you, from being in my bed. That's my morning routine is one of spending a lot of time resting, which actually doesn't improve things. It just allows me to exist. It's of spilling my food down my shirt because my hands shake. It's I'm choking on my food because I can't swallow very well because I'm tired. It's from having difficulties getting on and off the loo. I mean, that's the practical experience of being in pain, of being frightened, of hospitals and appointments. Just because I try and do it from a spiritual angle, which is basically living from the heart and the soul. It's not all jiu-jitsu, crazy, yin yang, back to front hypnosis, rah rah. There are elements of that support me, but it's not, some psychedelic 60s Back to the Future rah. There's grounded fundamentals that have been around for thousands of years, thousands of years, that come through and walk with me and make my life and my experience one of more love and peace as it progresses. And that again is a huge statement that I hope that I'm able to maintain, because I'm powerless over the projection of where I'm going. And it's a work in acceptance that I work on today, and that's what the 12 steps have taught me from a mind point of view. But we are more than just a mind, we are more than just a soul, and we're more than just a body, and it's about balancing those three stool pegs. So I want to get into some more of the sort of like some of the nittier, some of the more the textual substances to how my life managed and how the journey has progressed. So it is a progression, it is a stage by stage, working not just as myself as an individual, but you as an individual if you're managing any health condition. Now, I'm not a health professional, I can't advise you on any specific health needs. That's not who I am or what I'm about. What I'm doing is sharing my experience, and I'm hoping that you might be able to see similarities or even object horror. I mean, your experience is unique to you, and what I've learned is that story, subtext, transition of dialogue, energy, whatever however I'm responding tells me about me, and how I can then implement change in order to have a better existence. Let's just go there. So if you find it difficult, that's good. If you find it peaceful, that's good. Whatever it is, it's yours. So please don't take what I'm doing as your blueprint. But if you find anything that would help you, I'm really glad, and I give that humbly as a gift. And if you ever want to talk about anything or share back, dude, so up for that, because what you do by sharing with me is you teach me, and you don't only just teach me, but you then help teach all those others that I come in touch with. And one of the prayers that I've always prayed throughout the whole of my life is that I pray for those people that I've met now and those people that I will meet in the future. And I don't know where that prayer came from when I was a little boy, but I've always prayed that prayer. So, as a part of the 12-step program, you are introduced to the concept of the power grid in yourself and how to communicate and experience it. And that communication and experiencing it, I found in meditation. Now, meditation was the basic realization that when I put my two hands together and focused a little bit, I felt energy like this, like a rubber band. And if you're one of those really cool, gifted, amazing people that can see energy, you might be able to see. I'm not very strong at the moment, I'm not sure. It depends. No, I am a little strong. It's okay. Thank you. Shouldn't put myself down. You'll be able to see energy pushing like an elastic band just between my two hands. And it keeps moving, sorry. And what I found was when I focused on that, this energy grew. And I could stretch it, I could turn it from one hand to another, I could rotate it round. And do you know what? I did like all people do. It became Google fodder. So bugged it in Google, got onto YouTube, and then started finding meditation things to do with energy. I contacted and chatted to some friends. They sent me a YouTube video. Excuse me, just need to drink water. Okay. Downside to muscle loss is muscle balance, guys. Oh. See, I love this. All a little lumpy and bumpy. Oh, sorry, guys. I think that was definitely a bit for editing. I hope you're still with me. Let's just sit up in the bed, shall we? See, once upon a time, I used to be able to throw myself around a bed. I used to throw myself in and out of a swimming pool, on and off the gym bed. And that's not quite the case anymore. But that's okay. And let's not even get started into the bed department, because bed mattresses and moving around a bed has been a crazy thing with the NHS recently. I tell you, I've not seen some blown up things in my bed. Anyway, let's not go there. Gosh, sorry, that's a bit of a family joke, blown up things and Spitfires. For more about that, come back later, tune into a different channel. So yeah, I found through meditation that, it started with energy and a friend sharing a meditation that I did at night. And to be honest, I wasn't too sure about it, but it was one of those things. I was told, if you don't do this, you're going to get ill again. And I'm asked to be right. And so fear with compliance is a boo. That's how I used to be. So I was like, right, I've got to do this meditation stuff, otherwise I'm going to die. And I am quite black and white like that on stuff. So yeah, so we got into the meditation, and that part of my life really grew, because what I found was, when I started meditating, one of the greatest healing experiences I had was I got out of my body. So I got away from the aching, I got away from the pain, I got away from the mind attack, and it went quiet. Now, if you have pain of any kind, unique to you, to get to that point where it's calm in your life is, I don't know, what I'd probably imagine ecstasy is like nirvana, is in Buddhism. Do you know what I mean? It's that moment of clarity of, literally, God, I didn't know it stopped. And, I'd love to be able to say, no, I'm glad I'm able to say that it didn't even stop at just that. This is the amazing thing about healing, progression, development. And this is how the journey still balances, even though I'm declining. So let's not go in the deep end and get on morbid on this, but I don't get better. This condition doesn't have one of those, and then he walks again. As far as I know, unless the guys upstairs have got some really cool plot twist, and who knows, tune in on a later stage and maybe we'll find that one together. But there is a quite serious progression that happens about every 6 months that I drop, and there are noticeable changes in what I can do and what I can manage. But what I found in the meditation, that I get peace. Not only do I get peace, and not only do I get that kind of peace of mind, but I get relief of the pain. That actually the pain leaves my body and goes into the ground. And again, it doesn't even stop there. But as I'm laying in that meditative state, I'm then recharged. God, the universe, Gaia, whoever they are, whoever it is for you, then charges me back up. It's literally like going to the gas pump and filling up the car. And they give me back my body. Now, I'm not like saying I don't get up and walk. I'm like, I can sit back in my chair upright. I can get on and off the loo. I can pick up a cup of water. So I'm talking about functionable movability. Again, everyone is different. But you know what's so good about everyone is different? Your point of nirvana, your point of calm, your point of relief will be as important and as powerful for you, because you're having your human experience. You're having and needing your moment of healing. And I believe that they will bring that to you if that's what's needed at that time. Because there is a point at which I've found sometimes within the other techniques that I use, that I'll describe later, is that I can push it and I can be like, right, I want more. That's part of my mental illness. And seeking and being a seeker, what's the next level? And sometimes they hold that back and go, not yet, David. there's still yet other work to do, and I'm just in the start of doing this. This is why a part of these videos are going to be coming out more, because I've gone, David, in order to progress, in order to go up the next step, next run, next stage of the mountain, however you describe it, you need to give more. And that's the fundamentals of a 12-step program. What you learn, you give away. You can't hold this stuff as a kid in the sweetie shop going, this is all mine now, I don't share it. That's not how this bag works for me. It's not how this bag works for many people that have vocations and give their lives. It's give freely of what you've received. And I accept that. Oh, no, I don't actually always accept that. But I'm learning to accept that more. Well, I'm going to hope to learn to accept that more. And that's just being honest. And I will be honest. I'm not a finished article. I'm not a guru. I'm not somebody put on a pedestal, because that's actually the last place I want to be. Because what I'm learning in my life is, if I help elevate you, your happiness and love is far more important. Big stuff, big blocks, but it's real. I'm still learning that, and I still get to that. I don't want to do this. I'm a little boy. I want to hide, and that's all right. It's part of the balance. So meditation, there are lots of different forms. Find the bag that suits you, dude. It's all about where you dive with it, man. It's like aftershave, perfume, favorite color. This stuff's unique to you, dude. So don't just follow one man because he says that. Find your experience, have your journey with it, and they will open it up. You will open it up by your own intuition and your own style of the person that you are. And if you want to know more about meditation or different types or different creative ways to do meditative style, get in touch. I'll probably do a video about that, because I collect and borrow things from other people. But one of the things I will share is that my journey in meditation is still growing and it's still changing. And do you know what? I will share this. I was gifted by one of the ladies that I worked with, that she was able to take me out of my body, place me in front of my physical body, to be able to see what my condition looked like. Now, I've always wanted to see that. So I class that as healing, of that self-acceptance. And do you know what? I looked beautiful. I saw my chakra points lit up. They're the energy ports within the body. And I saw the wigwam of the illness through my body. And do you know what? I was gobsmacked and awed by that. It was something just godly, just creatively beautiful. It's indescribable. There's a picture I'm looking at, and it is similar to that. So I'll share that maybe with you guys one day. But again, guys, we can't just all sit in a mountain on a pedestal and go, oh. Life's practical. Do you know what I mean? I sort of roll up my sleeves and wash up and go to a meeting or see the family. And I still have a physical corporeal body. It still needs nurturing, maintaining, and that's self-care. And I can buy the nicest car, the best dress, you know what I mean? But if I'm not looking after the nuts and bolts of my condition and the human experience, so that took me to swimming, to stretching, swimming, and that was a part of my healing process, because what it did was it got me out of my wheelchair and it got me stretching again. It got me back in touch with the experiences that I had before I was poorly. It re-woke up the mind and it gave me something to live for. It was a manageable goal. And healing is about setting managing goals. Life is. And it's about that physical structure of the muscle tissue. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, when I exercise, I am progressing my condition. So this is a tactical choice. What I do now are about tactical weighed choices to the best of my ability. And I'm not great on the balance points. For you guys that know me, I'm either full on, full off, and I'm very much learning about harmony. So along with the swimming came some great work with a lady that I've been working now with, 2 years nearly, yeah, probably a bit longer than that, and that was massage. Physical movement of the energy and the muscle tissue to help release the pain, to help release the toxins, because I did GCSE sports, I know, a long time ago, but we learned about that. We learned about needing to exercise, stretch the muscle tissue, and it helps keep it in good condition. Because my muscle tissue deteriorates and it can exacerbate the pain, I can also absorb a lot of energy from people and the environment I'm in, and that gets trapped now in my dead muscle tissue. And I don't have the energy or the strength to be able to manipulate my joints and muscles in order to release that. So some form of physical exercise is a great part of the healing process, and that for me was through the massage, horse riding, for postural movement, and just getting out into the countryside. That's important. So yeah, so that was really cool for me, and what I found it did was it challenged my boundaries. It challenges the social box of disability and illness, because I love you guys, I love the world, but I'm afraid even with the best will and intentions at heart, language that we use to each other limits us. I am autistic, but that dialogue, internal and external, the combination of what I experience in my body and in society can put me into a box, and that's a very lonely box of isolation. And I feel, and I know many people with disabilities of any kind do feel that. And that I have had bouts of that depression stuff, and it is about the cycle, the flow of the ocean, that there are good days and bad cycles, parts of that cycle. It's all a part of the journey. And I have a working acceptance on that. It's all part of yin and yang and the balance. It's all a part of the healing. It brings forward what needs to be healed next. We touched on food a little bit before. They mess around loads with my food, with my condition. I choose now to reduce high fats most of the time. I do like butter. I'm one for lots of butter. I do reduce my sugar, obviously because of the way my muscles work, and a general more plant-based diet. They keep directing me to do, though I'm quite resistant on that bit. See, I'm not so good at giving up the things I like sometimes, but I have bouts vegetarianism, and also exploring food and textures of food, and this other kind of healing of like re-bringing vibrancy back into the diet, re-bringing vibrancy back into my food, because it becomes quite manual and quite a functional experience, and not always a pleasurable one for me. I choke on my food. I spill my food now. I find it hard to cut it up. I find it hard to chew. It's not a sob story. It's just to illustrate the practical, the reason for needing to flip it. Because in flipping it and changing textures, having that experience of changing textures with others, it's like a sponsor and her family. While I went away for a good week, 10 days, I spent quite a long time going through my diet and going, right, so you need sauces, and that's why you need sauces with your food so you can swallow it. And that's part of the journey, along with the hospitals and having my throat messed around with and stuff. So yeah, sharing food and stuff like that's really important. And if you're one of those people that struggle with that, man, I get you. I don't get necessarily your experience, what you had, but I get you. Food, food is a tricky area. Loads of a struggle with it, and if you're managing it or not managing it, high five and fair play. At least you're aware of it and you're on it. Do you know what I mean? If you're blissfully unaware, even better. Just do where you are, be who you are, and because you are loved. You know. But again, if you want to talk about food or ask any of my experiences, just let me know. I'm up for sharing. I'd love to hear again your experiences. I mentioned getting outside. I mentioned horse riding, shamanic sit spots, going for walks, time by the ocean, getting out of my electric wheelchair, though it's broken at the moment. Long story. Getting out and driving by the sea. I even got stuck on the sand in Blackpool in my wheelchair because I wanted to get out by the water. Not a good idea. I didn't know that you needed special tyres. I mean, of course that's logical, isn't it? You just drive on the sand is what I thought, but obviously not. But yeah, getting out by the ocean's really cool, really good for like cleansing and other stuff like that. The sound, but it's the smell, it's the salt air. You know, we know that, and that is a really, really important part of it. And I suppose if I then bridge out to alternative therapies now, because where I am in my condition, we are at palliative care stage. It's quite a big emotive subject. Okay, I'm at the beginning of a journey with it. There's still a lot of emotion in there. There's a lot of fear because of what I'm told or what I'm taught happens when you go there. The liberating fact is I've not been there yet. And I have skills now. They are teaching me skills now that will help me balance that. Because what I don't want to do is to have a similar experience to the one I've had. And there's a lot of dealt with stuff there. But with those who do that journey through counselling and psychology or whatever your healing route of the mind's been, you know that it's, or we might have experienced that it doesn't go away. It becomes manageable. It becomes releasing the pain so it doesn't have the same impact. It doesn't recall the same emotional overwhelm or spill out. And it doesn't hurt those around you. Because a part of this healing is that you heal that damage, that harm that my moods cause when I'm in pain, that my body causes when I'm in pain. And it's that emotional impact, that physical impact, and psychological impact and spiritual impact it has on others. You know, my healing helps, I hope, will help heal others. By sharing this, I hope it will help your mums, your dads, those that you help care for, and maybe give ideas of stuff that you might be able to do with them to help cherish and love them and bring peace into their lives and have those memories that you can then carry on if your loved one then goes, or vice versa. It's about the shared experience, dudes. So for me, I got into some Reiki because it's one that I've heard about. So, dudes, Reiki for me has been a big pinpoint of change. I do a lot of it. I have a lot of Reiki music on a lot of the time. Excuse me. It also helps with my Asperger's. See, dribbling is also a part that I found that I do now. Guys, I still hope you're going to be here for the whole day along with me on this Soul Garden Life, Soul Garden Life Now, and other projects that I'm involved with, because this is an out to the end job. And I read a great book as a part of my healing process called Tuesday with Maury, and he was one of my biggest inspirations because what he shows in his book is he shows the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there are other people online, like a woman called Agni Ornchi and other stuff. And you know what? They've given me the encouragement and the confidence to be here doing this now. And it's my friends and family that have gone, do you know what, David, you should write a book. And these are projects that I'm looking at doing. So, you know, even if you don't do a whole video, dude, the fact that you're liking, tuning in, saying hello, sharing these videos is immense, because when you have autism, or even if you have a negative mind or like mine, it's a lonely world, and it can be a struggle. So if you suffer with these things, I'm with you there, in the trenches, dudes. So we can do it together. So yeah, I hope you're in for the long haul. So yeah, Reiki, hand positions, using it on the feet, head, heart, and healing those old wounds and those karmic wounds, and just pain management, guys. Again, when I wake up like mornings like this, when I don't sleep very well because of the joint seizing, or muscle pain, or whatever it is that's going on, or just fatigue, chronic fatigue, stomach problems from the food department, and the emotional department, because my head generates chaos, but my stomach stores it, and then that affects the whole toilet system, without getting into too nitty-gritties. And what I found, that this is a part of my autism, it's part maybe of my alcoholism, it's just part of who I am. I accept that now, begrudgingly sometimes. I'm not going to be dishonest. It's painful, it's disgusting, and I have really low points with it, because I have a physical condition that impacts getting to the toilet, and there are times where it's not cool, guys. And you know, I'm a 31-year-old male, and you know, when we use that, I've used it in this, I'm having that human experience. It's all areas of your life, guys. So what Reiki helps to do is not only clear the head and shift some of the cloud fog of the dysphagia and the chronic fatigue, it also helps me shift out the emotion that gets stored in my stomach, which is a big thing, really, because once that starts coming out, I get my appetite back, I get my enthusiasm back, I'm more bubbly, and it's literally like the weight gets lifted off me, and I'm like, yeah, dude, we're back. And that is how powerful Reiki is. It's a universal energy, and that's how powerful these techniques are. Now, I'm not saying this as a sales pitch to get you to come visit me. This is just fact. And you don't have to take my word for it. My sister shared a link to me the other day about Reiki and helping pregnancy. You know, there are practical reasons and uses for these energy types, and they have been here since the Egyptian times. It's not an occult, it's not something wacky off the wall. It's a practical experience that is changing my life and making it manageable and acceptable. And I'm really grateful that God and the angels and my team that come through and help me on that have offered that kind of relief. Because dude, wouldn't it be shit otherwise? Do you know what I mean? That doubles up with the meditation quite often. But also another thing that I brought in that was something my mum introduced me to, like way back when I lived in Brighton, which is a really cool area to live, guys, was reflexology. And a woman down in Farnham that I go and see, I'm sort of toying with the idea of maybe going and learning this. I can't get down and do it necessarily on my feet, Probably get to the point where you'll have to lift my feet up so I can do it. But do you know what? It works on the whole of the body again. It is an alternative therapy. People do boo-poo these things. But I'm telling you as a person who doesn't walk anymore, that having sensation back in your feet, feeling them being manipulated and touched, and that is physical healing. So that physical healing doesn't only help heal the self spiritually because of the sensual texture of the feet and the oil, but it's awakening my mind, it's bringing relief, it's opening my soul back up, and it's reminding me that life's worth living. That's why this stuff's important, to nurture the body. So we've gone on the spiritual with the Reiki, and it has a physical impact. Now we're on the physical and the touch with the massage and the reflexology. We've talked about some mind stuff and program work. That, you know, this is a whole kind of package deal that grows with people, or I hope will grow for you, because this is what it's doing for me. You'll have your own experiences and different ones, and what I suppose this is to help, to encourage. Really, if you've been sitting on the fence and going, do you know, I'm not going to start running yet, I'm not going to buy the new shoes, or I'm not going to buy the flowers, or I'm not going to go swimming, or the walk with the dog, or down by the beach, whatever it is that you're slightly holding back on, don't hold back, man. If you're holding back, then you're meant to be properly, for whatever reason it is for you. But let this be maybe the encouragement that tips you over the edge and you go for it. Go wild. It's the only way to do it. It's the only way I've done it. So maybe it's not the only way to do it. But yeah. Do you know what? Having sensation and somebody touch my feet reminds me of walking, reminds me of standing. That is amazing. That is something I thought I'd never be able to do. And I did that when I stood up in a swimming pool. You know, this is what my life is giving back to me because I'm in chronic pain and I have chronic illness. You know, we talk about what it's taken away from me. We go to constant doctor's appointments I've had recently, financial assessments and all sorts, and it's what are they taking from me? What have I got to prove that the life and the world is taken from me now? And it's so hard because I'm coming up against the will of the man, you know, the will of the machine, to justify my illness, to justify my death, and how much it's worth to the NHS. Bit on my speech box there, so I apologise. It's I suppose it's not a speech box, it's passion, because so many of us struggle to get the financial support to be able to even dip in. Excuse me, sorry guys. Dip into this type of alternative therapy because it's an expensive world to try and get into. And for me, it was held back for years by many things. And this is a slow progress over 3 years, now, that these experiences that I'm now sharing with you. And do you know what? They're now becoming fundamentals. They're not one-off treats. They are now part of a program of recovery, of a program of self-care and of self-nourishment, and of cherishing and worshipping my beautiful body as it goes on the journey that I'm meant to be here and having. So I'm just checking my notes. Seeing, feeling, healing from the world. Oh yeah. So we touched on this already. But a part of the healing journey is traveling. Traveling to places, because visiting places, sites, even the cinema, getting out with friends, sharing it. These are things that I can hold back on because I get frightened to go out because of the anxiety. Gets too much for me at times. I can get withdrawn. had those as a part of the experience of my life in order to remember that life is living. It seems a strange statement that life is living, because obviously it is, but actually it's not obvious, because I would challenge that most of us exist. Now, I'm sorry if that upsets you, but most of us do exist. And I say that from somebody that was existing. I wasn't thriving. I wasn't living. I was existing. I was existing to drink for a long time. I was existing to die for a very long time. And what I'm now trying to do is not only change that concept, keep that changed, but how to change it for others and others who interact with me. Because I'm not dying. I am living. I'm living now. I'm living more now my human experience and the human experience before, which was that of the hospital, of the system. Now, I'm not getting into any conspiracy and all the weird heebie-jeebie stuff over here. I'm just saying that I'm trying to live a more liberated life, that I've not defined boundaries by an institution that says, David, in order to get this benefit, you have to meet X, Y, and Z. Okay, I know that's a part of what we have to live in, but I don't want to exist anymore, because when I'm existing, I'm dying. I'm just working to get to the end. And do you know what, guys? That scares me. That scares me just even saying that out loud. Do you know what I mean? That's like inviting... No, let's not even go there. Do you know what I mean? And I don't have time for that anymore. Do you know what I mean? This is what this condition is teaching me. I don't have time for that BS. And I do use that for that reason, because it is that reason. It is BS. Something that I've been taught, we're all taught to some degree, is that we get old and we die. You know, I'm seeing this in the older generation. I don't see them dying. We help them to die. To go slightly off topic, but I see other women that as they get older, other men as they get older, they get wiser. They become, you know, in previous cultures, they became the elders. They became the liberated minds. They became the people of substance, the uprights, the pillars of the community, because they hold the largest wisdom and knowledge of life. We as a culture here in the West have very much got away from that, and I think we undo ourselves by not acknowledging that my parents are wiser in areas, my grandparents are wiser in areas, our elders are wiser in areas. So I suppose even that's healing. So yeah, go have those human interactions, go spend the time with a grandmother, you know, asking questions with her over a cup of tea and having that memory are gems of gold. Do you know what I mean? Absolute gems of gold, because it's love, man. Now, I'm not a 60s boy, but love, dude. You know what I mean? It's the powerhouse. So yeah, seeing, feeling, healing from what places, even work. What, you know, it's all healing. I mentioned a book. I just going to want to mention visiting places of importance. I visited Walsingham. Some of you aren't Christians. Some of you might be. Some of you might be Buddhists. I've been told we're studying. Some of you might be pagans. Some of you might be undecided. What it's cool, dude. Do you know what I mean? Totally be where you are, because I'm probably more spiritual and more open to wanting to learn more about all of it. Why do I want to learn more about all of it as my eyes edit me? Because there's truth in all of it. That's what I'm seeing for myself, and that healing of the soul in that way, or that religious healing is really big for me. I'm finding it really big for me. even healing some of the conflict within my own concept of Christianity by going through a spiritual approach. I'm seeing a bigger, larger, really quite cool picture, which is, helping me accept and love my parents more, and that means a lot to me because, being a part of the church and a part of my dad's world was huge in keeping me well when I was a kid. And those experiences of serving and incense and singing, that healed me. That kept me well for an immense amount of life. It's just my PA. This is also a part of healing, is having help. May I have a cup of tea, please? Cheers. Yes, please. Talking about food, I have different tea, textures of tea, taste. Really, do you know what, actually, just touch on taste again. Taste is so important because quite often when you're on water retention, like I am, I'm on a reduced water intake now because my heart's declining. Heart declining sounds like a really graceful thing that's happening. Basically, it's dying. Let's not beat around the bush. And that's very powerful and very scary, considering it's been working for a very long time and kept me alive for a very long time. One of the places that I've changed as part of my healing journey is my hospital. I have a very strong memory of one of my other friends who died with this with a similar condition, having difficulties drinking water, and his lips cracked. And that's a very painful memory that I kind of cherish for the love of that man that I have for him, and that's what I grieve, my attachment to that love. But the amount of love that guy gave me and we shared through those years, and I get to talk and connect with him now as a part of my prayer and practice is awesome, because my friends that have passed over are so now a part of my healing journey. It's immense, mates. And there's my cat. Hi, buddy. He's also a part of healing. So yeah, water intake's a huge part of regulation in my life. So trying different teas, different flavors, slices of lemon, a bit of lime and a coconut. No, just a lime. Into hot water and stuff. Value that stuff. It's the substance of life. Mugen, come on, darling. Come on, show me. Okay, don't show me. He's been out all night. Mugen and I sometimes talk in pictures, which is really cool. Here it comes. And my mum helped me find my cat. It's been a big part of helping me find balance. Come on. Come on. Come say hello to the guys. Hello, darling. Oh. He's also been a part of getting outside as well. Here we go. Come on, buddy. Come sit here. And he's also a big part of reconnecting with people. Thank you. Okay. Oh. Wow. When I said it was going to be lumping bumpy, I didn't realise it would literally be lumping bumpy. Oh dear. So yeah, so there's some of the techniques I use. What these techniques do And what these techniques might do for you is help make the unmanageable manageable. And you know what? How do I describe that in the context of my life? I have a lot of hospital appointments. I spend a lot of time with care professionals, a lot of one-on-one time. And if you're an energy healer or an energy worker, or on the spectrum, or just a sensitive, you'll know that there is an that requires energy, and I find it very draining. Even doing this kind of work, I've recently got to a point of my healing journey about how physical the energy transference is and how much the chakra points interact with each other. When we are communicating here, we are completely energetically communicating with all of the chakra points. And if you have chronic fatigue, MS, Alzheimer's, anything that is a deterioration of your body, mind, speech, all of those things. Excuse me, guys, sorry. And you're aware, or if you're subconsciously aware of this on some level, you'll feel that drain. You'll feel that drain with talking with people on the phone. And I have that a lot. It's also very painful and draining and exhausting, really, because quite often when I go to a doctor's appointment, I have to recant nearly my life experience of all the different appointments and treatments that I've had haven't worked, and I'm needing to have how my condition works with any one doctor or health professional. So it's never simple. My life, generally, guys, has never been simple. So if you have one of those complicated lives, hell yeah. And I salute you, because you do the hard work of just living. I mean, everybody has suffering and everyone is unique to their own. But if you have stuff that makes it more challenging and you're managing it, that's huge. And don't worry if you're not, because if you're coming across this video for the first time and you're at the beginning of your healing experience, I've been where you were, and it's daunting. I get out of my depth at times. I try things that aren't quite me, don't quite work, and I have to question, is this really where I should be going? People question me. I mean, a lot of what I go and experience at the hospital is people questioning who I am now, how this is working for me, and that's hard. And if you're somebody that's had problems with their confidence, or finds it hard being vulnerable and opening up and sharing about the pain and the discomfort and how bad things get at night or when you're on your own, I get you. I feel you. And I want you to know, okay, that you're not alone. Now, you're not alone because I'm saying that. You're not alone just because I'm here, and there are other people that are here in your life. But you're not alone because I can 100% guarantee that there are people in spirit always around you. Okay? There are angels and stuff watching over us, even people of positive thought and prayers that have real life impact. I'm somebody who's experienced that real life impact. I'm really grateful for anybody that keeps me in their prayers now, to other, and those that have sent Reiki to me. And if you want some Reiki sent to you and you're in a sticky spot, you message me, guys, and I'll send it. Because when you send Reiki, you send universal energy. I'm not sending my own personal energy. That's why it's so cool that even in great illness and in great difficulties that I have, I'm not using my own small supply. God's gifted me to be able to tune in and go, here's an extra batch pack, Dave. Try some crystals, try some energy healing. And that's huge, dude. So if you've been toying with the idea of maybe trying this stuff out, or even getting attuned yourself to it as part of your healing journey, don't hold back. Doubt is the stuff that undoes good work, or the potential of good works. It's like all those doubters in your life, don't let them go and unstitch your wound, because I'm afraid that's what they're doing. They're going and they're unpicking all the healing work that you've done. Don't let them have that power over you. And so be careful with your energy. And this is what I'm finding when you are communicating with people. Be aware of what they're saying to you. Be aware of what energetically is being transferred to you. And if you have a sensitive body and you feel it, you will absorb it to some degree, and you'll need to detox your body in some manifestation in order to get rid of that. Just as a bit of personal, that's what I find I have to do when I go to an AA meeting to help heal my mental illness. I have to come away and then heal my spiritual part of my physical body from being in that environment. And that goes for being anywhere in my life. There's a lot of frustration and anger still in the experiences that I have. I think it's part of growing my soul. I think as that anger sort of grows me outwards, it then makes more room for the healing to come in. And pain and being in pain in this moment, and in my legs, and in my wrists and things, in my hands. There is a purpose for it. It helps me be in this moment. It helps me be in my body. It doesn't allow me to run away. And if I start looking at a way of cherishing this pain and what it brings to my life, instead of what I'm taught it does to me, instead of what I'm taught the way it should be. I've been brought up to believe that it's all 80s movies and 90s movies, that we all have sex, have kids, and there's the house with the picket fence. And I think, coming to the end of this video and coming to one of the biggest, loneliest mile points, really, of this, because it is a lonely journey. Because all this has to be walked alone. You walk with people, but your experiences you have alone, and with that connection to God, or other, whatever yours is. And I did this journey without that connection, and it was hell. And if you are having that experience now of bewilderment, of utter despair, of I don't know how I'm going to manage if they die, I don't know how they're going to manage, I'm dying, or whatever it is, go find those people that inspire you. Ask them how they're doing it. Start creating your soul garden, your soul revolution, your rebirth, your regrowth. Start cherishing your life, because you'll start living. And it helps with that loneliness. Because, we come into this life on our own, that we're given birth to. But we'll also leave this life on our own. And though I can do all of these things, I am still getting worse. It doesn't take it away. No, it doesn't take it away forever. It doesn't stop my muscles deteriorating. doesn't stop my heart from getting older. It doesn't stop you from getting older. It doesn't stop my grandmother or anybody in my life dying. You know, it's not the Harry Potter elixir of life. You know, but what it does, it makes it manageable. Makes it smoother. Or it smoothens it out a bit more. But it doesn't go away. So I'm not trying to sell you or give you this rose colour painted picture that do this and I'm doing this and I don't get angry, I don't get down, I don't get frustrated, I don't cry. I don't cry enough, if anything. I'm not good at that one, I'm still learning that. It doesn't stop me from getting lonely, it doesn't stop the pain, it doesn't make it all go away. You know, I'd love to be able to have my mum at times pick me up, kiss me on the forehead and rock me like she used to do. And go, David, it'd be all right, and believe it. But, there is a but. I do believe it's going to be all right. And that is a completely another story. So, that's part of my healing journey so far, with lots of information, lots of different bits, and lots of hints of where I'm up to, and hopefully where I'm off to. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this latest instalment of healing and the healing self. I've covered a couple of few bits. There's probably loads I've forgotten, but we've been on long enough. I'll be uploading this to my YouTube channel. So please do find me on YouTube if you fancy a bit of that. I also have a website. I do write a blog though, not so often because that's immensely tiring, and I'm so dyslexic. I have I mentioned the website. I'm also on Instagram, and we'll be sharing my journey with some oracle cards, and I never mention any of that stuff, but that was it. Until next time, my friends, thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching as much as you've done. Guys, if you'd like to support me and become a part of the Soul Gardener community, share the experience, walk with me a while, you can find details on my patrons page on my website. Please, any donations that you feel willing or able to make, will be hugely, hugely grateful. A lot of what I'm trying to do costs an extraordinary, enormous amounts of money, and so I'd very much appreciate if you're able to support in any way. I hope this has helped you, because fundamentally that's what's most important, is that you're able to take something away from this. So yeah, for this one, my friends, take care, God bless, and have a safe and wicked 24.